Cool. Watch page. Give it a sec, see if it pops up.
No live stream for you.
No chat either.
No chat for you. Java bug.
There. Cool. Watch page. Fish are noisy.
Is that the fish tank? Really?
Or something.
Sounds like a fan.
Oh well. We're on anyway. We're here. We're okay. We're here.
That sounds really getting on my tits now.
Well, it's muted now, so it's fine.
Yeah, I know, but what is it?
There you go home. This is time to see. Hello, everybody.
Hi, hey, man.
TheSuffolkRam here.
Skazz.
Welcome to episode 81 of the Randos podcast live stream. We are a
to our audio viewers.
Weeny, little silly, little miney, whiny, little tiny, little bit late.
No, I never noticed that.
We're
perfectly on time.
Well, we're here.
We're perfectly on time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, if you have an hour on.
Shh. You're ruining it. Audio viewers can't tell that.
But, you know, we're here. I won't go into reasons.
It was entirely my fault. I'm a dick.
It was, yeah. It was absolutely his fault. Watching on Twitch. I didn't know it was possible.
Oh dear.
Well, we're here anyway, so welcome. I hope we've had a good 2 weeks. We have.
Yes. Kind of, I guess.
Well, it's been eventful.
Has it?
Yeah.
Has it?
Has it? Yeah.
What
Yeah.
have you been doing?
Well, Skazz!
I'm glad you asked these
I'm glad you asked me this, because we've got something to put in the podcast.
Yeah.
So I've been messing around with Steam Link.
Yes.
Steam controllers. I bought one in the Steam sale. Controller and a Steam Link for £27.70. What a bargain.
Because I've got, and that was that with shipping or?
Shipping was another, I think, £10 I think it's
That's not bad.
Not bad.
I swear I spent more than that when I got mine.
What was more incredible, it said, oh, there'll be delays on this. I ordered it on Christmas Eve. It turned up the day after New Year's Day.
Blimey.
From America. That's
America?
Yeah, for sure, I got shit from the US.
Mine came from Europe.
Did it come from Europe?
Yeah, some random debris in Europe.
Oh, right. Well, I looked at it.
US.
Everything in the box said from the was mentioned the United States, from the United States. It didn't say anything from Europe.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Anyway,
launch it to you.
Anyway, it turned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have.
Go on.
So, Steam Link was.
You should probably enlarge the chat.
Sorry.
You should enlarge the chat. We're blind.
Yeah, it's not good. How can we do that?
I don't know.
What the fuck just happened? What the fuck did you
made it small. What did you do? I don't know. Ram the other one.
Not that way. Let's see what does that do anything? Don't know what I'm doing. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves.
Just throwing out there. Do you remember that time when we went and did like computer science for stuff? We can't even operate on
look at this now.
No!
What? Do you not like that?
No! That's not.
Look, now hopefully I'm going to try zooming in. Control plus. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh shit! Everything's zooming in.
Yay! Now we can. Hang on.
Oh my god! I'm sorry, guys. You got to see this.
Oh, this is insane.
Don't know if you. Oh, it's not. That's upside down.
I know I said that we were blind, mate, but that's taking the mickey a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, I might have gone slightly too far on that one.
That turns out what you've actually just shown was a plant in the background.
Yeah. Okay, so
you definitely need glasses. Why? Because that's the wrong way. Hey, there you go. That's the right size. That'll do. I can just about read that.
Yeah. Oh, no. See. Now let's see. Oh no, the screen's unreadable. There we go. Screen's unreadable. It's too bright. Camera's not about to focus on it. Sorry, guys. That all didn't go right. Anyway, we're here. So yeah, Steam Link.
Yes.
So arrived. I mean, put the controller in my PC. Tried it out. Very impressed. It just picked up straight away, which I'm glad it did. No problems. Tried a couple games of it. But then I said, set up the Steam Link.
Right. So
Steam Link's very straightforward. It's literally I've coded mine to the Wi-Fi rather than physical yet. So I haven't got a cable to it yet. Because I haven't got around to running a cable to it.
Sure.
plug in the power supply, plug it to the HDMI on the back of your TV, plug in the adapter for the Steam controller.
And it comes up like big picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Steam's big picture.
Yeah, so basically you start up like any other console, you hold the button, switch on, it starts, it boots it up, and off you go. And then literally, yeah, it just simply looks on your network for any computer running Steam, and you literally connect to it. You have to then go to the other computer, put a pin in, so it'll say enter this, like we pair Bluetooth, it'll say enter this pin on your other computer, you have to go through and do that. But once you do that, everything is then streamed off from that computer.
Can we maybe say it might be advisable to set up the Steam Link in a room near to your computer? If you live in a mansion, right, you're going to be doing
to do it for you.
Good idea. Well, if you've got a mansion, yeah, you'd probably have some little...
Yeah. Jeffrey, please enter the number 193 on my supercomputer in the main room. Thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, sorry. You know, you've got plenty of time. It doesn't like give you like 10 seconds to do it.
Oh, you never know.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Some of those timeouts are pretty aggressive.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to be an Olympic sprinter to worry about. I think it just sits down until you actually.
Time to pair your device. You have 15 seconds to enter 300 characters.
Yeah,
and it doesn't tell you have to push enter at the end of it. Like, so you expect it to just auto go at the last character. No, fail. Try again.
Like that. But then,
have you never had to do one like that?
No, I've not had that one.
I've had a couple of keyboards that have come up with some really insane
restrictions. But then once you do that, you're basically, it works like big picture mode.
Yeah.
So it comes on screen like big picture mode. You go live, you scroll through, pick a game started, boom, it just starts streaming from the PC. Only issues I did have were, now obviously my PC I've got an ultra wide monitor.
Yeah.
TVs aren't ultra wide generally, apart from a few exceptions. So TVs aren't. So if you then play, then TV obviously doesn't quite know what to do when it gets the signal, which is an ultra wide signal. Yeah. So it tends to layer box it really badly.
Oh, marvelous.
So you don't have. And what I did, first I tried playing. So I basically said to my obviously wanted to play. I said, okay, there you go. Here's the controller. That's my library. That's what's installed. Have a look through it and pick something. So I decided to have a go at the Long Dark.
All right. Okay.
It loaded up immediately, and it was just layer boxed terribly. And we couldn't get into the options menu because it was not happy with the controller, so I had to literally walk through to the off room and actually go up to my PC and fix it. Yeah. And get
I've had a few cases where in home streaming has basically thrown a hissy at me for like a launcher will crash.
Yeah.
And then stuff happens.
Yeah. So we got it all up and running anyway. We've got a lot of people on tonight.
Oh yeah, because I told everyone that we're.
Oh, hey. Good. You advertised the podcast.
Good me.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Pat myself on the head.
Yay, thank you. So that all ran off it went. So clouds with problems with that. I had to actually restart the Steam Link once to get to then load properly.
Sure.
You could just close the game down. I had to actually properly restart the Steam Link. So we got that running a little bit. But it didn't properly support controllers very well, so it didn't actually work very well when I tried it.
Okay.
So whether it's just the fact they didn't like streaming, some problem with it. So we banned the Long Dark. We then tried Abzu, that little sort of underwater exploration game. Yeah. They played it for about 5 seconds. Bored now. It's an exploration game. It's meant to be a relaxing sort of time to spend just looking around the ocean depths.
Considering your mum and sister, I don't expect them to be like aggro table flip.
Honestly, my mother's the worst console gamer you can imagine, right?
Is she one of those people that has their headset and they start screaming at
you? No. We were looking through the Steam library. We were showing some of the games. I said, look, because obviously you've got all the indie games. You don't really get on consoles. So we're looking at these indie games. Like, look, this one. She went, graphics are a bit shit. I never thought I'd hear my mother actually being like a graphics sort of.
So hang on a minute. You sit there playing on a fucking PlayStation. Be gone, console peasant.
She moved her game for these about 6 years ago. She said, the graphics are a bit crap, aren't they? So actually, you only want AAA modern releases. Go buy yourself a PlayStation Pro then or something.
And she will.
Yeah. What's
the Steam Link doing here? Rips it out from the back of his head.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh, nice thing about the Steam Link has extra USB ports so you can plug a keyboard and mouse into it.
Does it not have a couple on the...
Has 3 USB ports.
Sure.
So that's a Steam controller, keyboard, mouse.
I don't know why, but I was just imagining the on live streaming box, not the Steam Link.
Yeah.
The Steam Link is with a curve, isn't it? In the online ones. Okay, yeah, sure.
But it's tiny little machine, it's tiny little box. It's probably about sort of 6 inches across.
Yeah.
Tiny little piece of kit, nice piece of kit. We then tried to play Alien Isolation, which they wanted to play, so that's fine. Played that. Now the other issue we discovered is when they obviously set games over to the PC and convert them over, they expect you to sit within a few feet of the monitor.
Yeah.
So all the text is basically
scaling is.
But it doesn't. When I see on TV, the text is too small. You can't see it sitting down generally. Even with the big TV because the text is.
I've never had that issue playing stuff on my TV. But
yeah, we sit further back than you do.
I am all
We sit further back. Where sort of from here, our TV is probably from here to slightly further than your window.
Oh, bugger it. Well, I was going to say, because normally when I play, I sit from here to roughly where the table's at.
Yeah, that's a bit
and then I have my blackboard, because you know, no fucking control pads for me.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit further away on TV, so yeah, it was very small to read what was going on, text and so forth. That was the first game I had a problem with. With one of the cutscenes, and it just froze. And I knew it just came from the ceiling because all of a sudden I heard sound coming from
yeah, that continues on the other machine.
Yeah, also it popped up with sound, and I went through and the cutscene was still playing. So obviously, whatever happened, it decided.
Could the Wi-Fi dropped?
Must have been the Wi-Fi dropped, and it just seemed like rather than saying your Wi-Fi's dropped, it just froze.
Sure.
And it just. bounced back
In
to the PC.
fairness to the Steam Link, if you use Steam in-home streaming using like your laptop or whatever, it will do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not. You can do about it.
Yeah, it's
shy of restarting Steam.
Yeah. So I am. But
this is an issue seemingly it's inherently wrong with Steam, not the actual product itself.
I mean, and also it doesnn't help that I'm using Wi-Fi rather than. I mean, I've got space on the router for a cable. I just need to run a cable.
Where is the router based in your house?
In the living room with the
okay, cool.
So it's literally, I literally need to run a cable.
You've got like a couple foot to.
Probably sort of around the edge of the room, so probably say a 10-metre cable would probably be too much.
Oh, fair.
So it's probably like a 5-metre cable's not enough. So it's going to be like a 10-metre cable, but that'll do. So I'm just going to run a cable to it, that'll be fine.
Yeah. I'd be interested to hear your results after you connect it to
proper cable. But yeah, they start playing. They end up playing Alien Isolation, going through that and playing it sort of quite enjoying it. You know, it's nice there. They're actually looking at games that they wouldn't have looked at. So going from my Steam library and saying, well, that's an interesting looking game. Oh, we'll give that a go. It's quite nice. The games we've never bought, but they're gonna give it a go.
Yeah, sure.
Because as we go on PC, you don't get many. I don't. Was Abs ever released on the new consoles? Yeah, but a lot of like indie games won't get released generally. A lot of them won't. It's better than it used to be.
Yeah.
They're not better than it used to be in comparison, but generally...
Nintendo release a lot of indies. PS4 does have a lot of indies, but you're not to sound like a dick, but your mum and your sister don't sound like the kind of folks who go around the store looking for indie titles.
No.
They'll look for the latest Assassin's Creed or something like that.
You are absolutely right. Assassin's Creed, they're replaying Skyrim again. Assassin's Creed, Elder Scrolls, any of the Fallouts.
Right, they like Fallout instantly. I'm sorry, I had more respect for your mum and your sister, but as soon as you just said that, yeah, you and all peasant. Be gone.
They are slightly, yeah.
If you said to me they were playing Fallout 1 and 2, I'd be like, good.
No,
Fallout 3 and 4,
graphics are shit.
Fuck.
Don't play 1 and 2. Graphics are shit.
Like, oh, I just lost my temper then.
Yeah.
What I meant to say there was peasants.
So after I go there, I thought, right,
Graphics are shit. Rather than a sock.
Yeah.
The only two decent Fallout games.
I can't believe it when she said that. It's like I can't believe she was such a.
Why she played Papers, Please?
Yeah, but that's because she like.
Because it was graphically, it was amazing. It was
it's
8K.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Papers is amazing. I think there is some Papers, Please you could stamp things.
I could understand.
Don't forget, she works at a post office, and they like stamping things.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe your mother is secretly evil.
She works at the post office, of course she is. Well, she works for Royal Mail. Why is there any doubt about this situation here? So, yeah, I don't think you're getting confused.
I demand that your mother and sister play Fallout 1 and 2.
I'll put it towards them.
No, I demand.
I remember playing Fallout 1 at home, and I stopped for lunch and my laptop open for Fallout. I thought I was on the world map, it was paused. It's not paused. Because I sit there eating that, all of a sudden it just cuts to a screen of, well, I've starved to death.
It's like, oops. Lesson learned. Don't do that.
The world map isn't actually paused. Good lesson. So
I'm
then
going to kick Gizmo in the dick.
So then I nicked the controller, nicked this thing, and I thought I'm going to play it. I have to go to try it myself on the PC. And you know what? It is quite nice actually to just sit there, relax back in the chair, and try it. It's quite nice. So I thought, well, I'm going to try a game that I know has got designed for controllers, a game that isn't, and see how well the controller adapts to it. And just a few other sort of random titles. Okay. So I tried. So the first one I tried was I've got to pronounce it. Brigador, I think it's called, like a mech game. Third person isometric, it's isometric mech game.
Is this one of the control based ones, or
this one's not a control support, but you can sort of
map everything.
Yeah,
sure.
And basically this is it works like a bit like a twin stick shooter in that your mouse controls where you're pointing your weapons, and then the D-pad or whatever you want to call it, analog, whatever you want to call it, controls how you move. Yeah. So you can aim in different directions how you move, and that was I found very difficult to play. I played about sort of half an hour or so. I could not really get the hang of it.
Did you try different profiles for the right?
I tried a few different profiles. I think I just need to fiddle with the sensitivity of it. I think that's the big issue, sensitivity of the touchpad. But then I thought that I tried it using mouse and keyboard, and it's bloody awkward with mouse and keyboard as well.
Oh, okay, interesting.
The mouse doesn't. The trouble with it is your movement doesn't quite seem to work, because it seems when you first play it, you actually have to turn. So you know, like old school Resident Evil games.
Oh, yeah, like tank based.
If you're pointing at the screen to walk forwards towards you, you have to press forwards on the control pad. Whereas most games, you flip it round, so whatever you push, you direction you move.
Yeah, you
so
push the direction that you're facing, but instead it's always up to move forwards.
And it works like that. And trying to do it with the analog with the analog, it was really tricky. But even on WallZ, it was quite difficult. It's a lot easier on WallZ with mouse and keyboard, but it still was not a brilliant taste. So putting some of that down to the control scheme isn't great.
Okay, I'd be interested if you maybe try some other games next time.
I've tried a few. I tried Watch Dogs, because obviously that's got control design for controller. Although it tells you it's not got controller support. It's like, I'm pretty sure you do. You are a console.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
That works absolutely fine. Once I got used to the SWAT sensitive I need for the D-pad, the touchpad. Once I used to that, works absolutely fine. I was actually going around completing missions. I was actually successfully completing missions, successfully completing firefights. So I was doing something right.
Do you use the right touchpad in mouse mode or an analog stick mode?
I was using it in mouse mode, so that's controlling the camera.
Okay, but you're constantly swiping your thumb to move around rather than...
I used a profile that someone had created, and it was quite sensitive, so you didn't actually have to scroll through it. You could actually move quite gently. You would move quite far, so you didn't actually... There's not often I had to scroll up. So when you're aiming a gun, you're not having to sort of stroke it.
Sure.
You're aiming just to move a little bit, and it will work. But it was still accurate enough that I could actually aim quite well.
Sure.
So I got pretty quick. I got the hang of using that controller. It's still weird. And the only trouble you've got to bear in mind is I've not really used controllers at all. For last controller I used,
PS2.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's because I've not played consoles so long. So part of it is also I'm not used to controllers. I'm not used to using controllers. I'm so many years. So PlayStation 2 that would have been that got placed in 2003. So it's probably the best part of 15 years since I last picked up a controller.
You'd probably kill yourself if you had to play Dark Souls.
Oh, tell a lie! I played on an Xbox 360 when I was at when we went to university. That was 2007. I only played a grand total of 7 hours on that Xbox 360. And then, well, actually, that's true. I played 2 hours on the first one, which red ringed, and then 5 hours on the second one. I had 4 games for it. I had Perfect Dark, 0. I had Lost Planet, which was shit.
grappling hook. That was an instant winner for me.
Oh, stupid mechanic. The key mechanic was stupid. Lost Power was shit. What else did I have on that one? I had... Oh, I'm trying to remember what I had on the Xbox. I had 4 games. I can remember 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't know the demo for Rainbow Six. I hate it. Rainbow Six Vegas.
No, that was the arcadey one.
Yeah, absolutely hated it. Like, well,
me and my mate tried that.
What have they done to Rainbow Six?
We barely got through the. Is that the one where you're running down the street and then the buildings? There's a breach inside the building to the left.
The demo I had, you repelled the side
of the building. You were playing a demo. So
yeah, I had a demo.
We had the full game.
I downloaded the demo.
The intro mission was me and my mate. We barely got through like the first half of the first level, and we were like, no, can't be playing this.
Yeah. So, but. Overall, I think I just need to get used to using the controller again, which is part of the problem that I'm not used to using it. That is honestly part of the problem I've got with it.
I will say that the Steam controller is an odd beast. It doesn't feel like any other control pad you'll ever use, just because of its bizarre layout. Do I think it would have been better with an actual right analog stick? Probably.
But then the whole idea was you could use mouse-based games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I can see why I've done it that way, to try and make any mouse-based game work, but...
yeah.
I do find...
Setting that trackpad as an analog stick does not work.
No, not work, no.
It just doesn't work at all. So the way I get around it is the thing has a gyro in it. And so I tell Steam to act as an analog stick when I have my thumb rested on the... pad to then activate the gyro, and so then if I need to do precision movements, just lightly adjust by moving my hands.
I haven't fiddled enough with the customizing the controllers. I haven't fiddled enough doing the settings on the controller.
That gyro is going to save your life.
I need to sit down and fiddle with it basically. I need to actually sit and have a little fiddle and get more used and play with it. I need to play with it a bit more, to be honest.
It's a cracking pad for what it is, but it is an odd one. Yeah. It's a very odd pad.
But I can see, I can see myself. Do you know what? I can actually see myself actually. I can actually see myself because I've got a separate room where I sleep, and there's. I can actually see myself getting myself a little telly mounted on the wall, moving the Steam Link in there, and actually.
Why wouldn't you just run big picture on your laptop?
Could do.
You know, I mean, not to completely throw the Steam Link in the bin already, but I mean, I assume you'd have your laptop in your room or something like that. I mean, my laptop pretty much is stuck to my forehead the entire time I'm awake.
To be honest, my laptop gets big use, but it's actually quite. It probably gets. Well, I think this was last switched on last time I did a podcast.
Oh, fair enough. So I was going to say it's not a particularly grunty machine, but it's definitely grunty enough to run Steam and home streaming. So I mean, you could just literally plug the dongle into the side and off you go.
Yeah, could do. Like a bigger telly.
Yeah, I suppose. You get yourself an 80-inch screen to.
80-inch screen.
just to connect it up to a Steam Link.
Yeah, Steam Link. Yeah.
Wow, and I can't read it.
Yeah. There's something quite nice about actually. I can actually just.
You got Civ 6?
No, I haven't.
I was going to say I'd be interested to see if you played Civ 6 on it.
I haven't tried any RTSs with the Steam controller. That's going to be interesting to try.
Civ 6 or City Skylines.
Well, I want to pick up a game called Tooth and Tail.
Was that the one with the mouse? The little.
It's quite apparent. It's quite a dark RTS strategy
I could be talking complete shit. I swear I've seen it before.
It's been on Steam a little bit after I pushed a little bit recently, but that's been designed. It's a strategy game, but it's been designed with controllers in mind. So I'm interested to see how that plays with a controller.
See, the annoying thing is though, when you say it's been designed with controller in mind, I found that they're designed with an Xbox or PS4 pad in mind.
Yeah.
And when you then try and swap that over to the Steam controller, they don't play very well.
I am surprised, at least what I've seen in the Steam overlay, when you go on it, there isn't like a bit that just says pretend to be an Xbox controller. I'm surprised it's not an option to say just pretend to be an Xbox 360.
That would be, if I had to be honest, that would be fucking nice.
Yeah.
And then just let me map that analog stick to gyro conversion in, and I would be happy as a pig in shit at that point.
Yeah.
But that is one thing that has bugged me about the Steam controller, is that you'd expect it to have generic gamepad emulation, but no.
No, I mean it's because of the way it's designed. It could just have as whatever you want gamepad emulation, but it doesn't.
No.
So, but I'm quite liking the amount of buttons you've got. It's insane.
I use it to play visual novels, and then the triggers at the back.
Yeah,
love them. Absolutely love them. Lifesavers.
Yeah. I'm still trying to work out where the blue switches are. I keep taking the face and where are these micro switches? I keep looking for them. I can't figure out where they are.
Yeah.
Must be there somewhere. So have you been playing anything this month?
I've been playing a fair few games, but nothing that I haven't mentioned before, because I've been trying to stream every day to get back into the kind of groove of streaming. Plus, I'm trying to set fire to that laptop I built.
Have you got that far yet?
No, although my stream setup just does not seem to be ideal. I swear that some of my streams were smoother, but then I can't be sure if maybe I've got a bandwidth issue, a bad USB cable, a bad capture card, or whatever, because in theory all of the machines should be perfectly capable of pushing 720/30, 720/60 and 1080/30, but it's just not. It doesn't. I mean, you saw a preview of one of my streams earlier without me saying, "Oops, this is one of my streams," and you said yourself the frame rate seemed a little off.
Yeah, it didn't seem quite. It seemed faster than 30, but not as fast as 60. It's sort of in between the two.
Yeah.
I want to say that might just be something to do with encoding.
Yeah, which is what concerns me, because well, obviously I didn't have access to looking at it on Twitch, but there shouldn't be any reason for it to look like that, and it's been bugging the ever-loving toss out of me. I will probably be playing more games, probably not next podcast, but the podcast after, because I have ordered an external GPU setup for the laptop that we ran the last setup off.
Yes.
Because it's got an express card slot, an express card 34 slot on it, and I've managed to pick up an express card to PCIe adapter. So you plug in the PCIe adapter to the wall, plug that into the express card slot, and then plug a desktop graphics card into it, and that will then feed the so basically the game will then be rendered by the graphics card and pushed back to the laptop screen, so you don't actually have to have another screen connected up to play. You can, but
that's quite clever.
I want to try that. I don't know how well it's going to work, because everyone that seems to talk about it is doing it on Windows, and I'm going to be on Arch Linux, so...
Well, you can but see.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
This is quite advanced these days.
Yeah, I heard you can even play games on it.
I've heard it's now 64-bit.
Oh my god! You can use actual RAM. What? Oh my god. No, it's I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little nervous about performance of it though, but I'm only going to have a 750 Ti or a 1050 Ti plugged into it. So, but I've heard of some people on Windows using near enough the same laptop as what I've got, even with my upgrades. But they're using a different PCIe adapter. But they're able to play Doom 2016 on ultra settings with one of those external graphics cards.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. So I am quite looking forward to it. So now I can actually play Linux games on my laptop and put away 2 of the PCs in the living room.
You can't get rid of the PCs.
Oh no, they're going to go up in the loft.
Because I mean, your living room looks like an IT service centre. Right? Yeah, there's so many PCs.
Well, there's what?
Except they all work.
Yeah, there's what, 4 or 5 machines currently running in there.
Yeah, all doing different things.
Yeah, of course. And someone said that to me. They said, well, why don't you just have one machine? Because they're doing different things. Different things.
Look, don't dish his server farm.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, don't forget that we've got the servers in the garage.
Yeah. Are they still running?
Yes, they still work.
Cool.
It's great. They're amazing. I love them.
Do they actually serve anything at the moment, or they just?
Not at the moment. They were VM slaves for a while, but then that's what the mid tower silver thing is in the other room. That was supposed to be a VM slave, but then I ended up turning that into an encoding rig. So I don't know. Repurpose things all the time. Repurpose. I've already got a handful of machines in the house. It's not a problem.
Dear.
I could do with some more though. I'm tempted. I'm definitely buying another laptop.
When you start having more kapoos than the Google data center, you know that maybe you're getting too many.
Well,
Do you want the internet in this? Your house actually want the internet?
I might do. I'm not telling you if I did though.
If I go and start unplugging the poos, will the whole internet go down?
Quite possibly.
Where is that Commodore 64 that's running internet?
Well, if you must know, actually, that's plugged into a CRT in the loft.
I knew it! Because we said in a podcast about, I think about episode 13, that the Commodore 64 runs the internet.
What I need to do is just turn it on and just have it blinking in the background.
Yeah. The internet status, okay.
Like a dim glow of it in the background of something. That'd be rad. I got that many computers, man. You make it sound like I've got loads.
You've got more than the average person. What is your computer to human ratio in this house?
Well, there's definitely more computers than there are people.
Alright. What's the ratio?
My kids have 2 each.
Right.
My wife has. Wait, are we including laptops in this?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Computer. Let's not include like smart
Let's not
devices.
include phones and tablets. Okay, so my wife. Right, so my kids have 2 each. The wife has 2 laptops, 2 PCs, and I have. Oh, I think I'll have a bit of a problem, you know. Do I have to say it?
Oh,
okay, so we've got the mini machine, the tower. Are we saying the only ones that we use?
Ones that are like in use in some way. So
okay, cool.
my old rig that for my old PC, which has been sat on desk for the last 3 months, doesn't count.
Okay, cool.
But if you're actually using them, or you've got plans to use them shortly, then they are included.
2, 3, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 for me.
8. So
not including Raspberry Pis or pocket chips and stuff.
So I think it's fair to say you've got a human to computer ratio, or computer to human ratio of like 3 to 1. Averaged out 3 to 1, right? In my house, let's see, I've got 1, 2, and I like PCs. I like PCs. 1, 2.
Wait, did I say 8, 9, maybe 10?
9. Okay, 10, maybe 10. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're about 1 1/4 PCs to humans.
What are you doing wrong, mate?
Well, I don't need 10 computers to do all the stuff I need to do.
Yeah, but you know, one's running one project and the other one's doing something else, and I just haven't got enough CPU cores, man. I haven't got enough RAM.
Just admit it, you've got a problem.
Maybe.
You need to go to Computer Owners Anonymous.
No, I refuse to let them go.
Well, you need to start the 12-step program.
There's only 2 servers in the garage. 2 servers.
That's 2 servers nearly more than anybody else has in general.
2 servers.
There aren't many people who have access to servers in their house.
11. 11, because I've got the B-boxes up there doing a mini server as well. He's beatboxing. And then, and if you include the Raspberry Pis, then I've definitely got a problem.
You've got more Raspberry Pis than like a.
I've got more Raspberry Pis than the Raspberry Pi Foundation.
That's what they all go. They just ship them to you.
Yeah.
Occasionally, one gets nicked and sent to Africa.
You'd think that I'm a distribution centre. They're mine. Yeah. You're not having them. Well, you got a few.
Dozen.
Sure. That's actually not too far from the truth. We found, randomly, I was talking on the phone to one of my mates the other day. I was just looking through one of the cupboards, and I was like, okay, yeah, I've got to try and find this thing. I was like, oh, a Raspberry Pi Zero in its anti-static bag. And he was like, mate, I love your house. You go, it must be like fucking Radio Shack or something. He said, no one else could randomly just go through cupboards and find a Raspberry Pi Zero that he's using, and then a little bit further back, a Raspberry Pi still in the anti-static bag, ready for another project. I was like, well, you know, and he's like, and how many other Raspberry Pis are in the vicinity of these 2 Pis? I was like, there's a few.
A dozen.
Yeah, you know, there's only like.
And you know, like, you've got how many? You've virtually got a whole like network infrastructure. Your Raspberry Pi can't support. If all those computers were switched on once. I did have,
you know, the BT home homes that generally get supplied with BT connections. They don't keep up.
So, can I even handle that many connections? No, I didn't think they could.
No.
Dear.
When I had a PF Sense box, it overheated. It shouldn't have done. It did. I should have probably changed the thermal paste on that one.
Like
legit.
I did.
No. My God. No, I was quite surprised to find out that the PFSense box overheated. I have no idea why, but it did. It did.
Just his love of computers. He has a problem. He just won't admit it.
It's not a problem. It's 10, 11,
12, 13,
yeah,
20.
Well, like I said, the Commodore's on. I mean, if
You've probably got enough computers in this house to give every one of your neighbours a computer each.
Yeah, I've still got my computer since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've still got my Pentium 1, my AMD Athlon 3000, still got the Phenom 2 X3, the Phenom 2 X6, that machine, that Core 2 Duo
that machine, just that machine.
Oh, and then we've got the Macs. We've got the iMac, the Power Mac, the PowerBook G4, the MacBook Pro, the G3 Pismo. We might have a problem.
You've got a problem.
Let's not go into hard drives.
You've got a problem. No, let's not go into hard drives. We'll be here all night if you start lifting out your hard drives.
Much storage. I need more.
More
I need to get an array sorted out. I need to sort out the servers out of the garage. I really need
We need more storage. Oh dear.
At least my electric bill ain't too bad.
Well, it's only because you haven't switched off most of the time because you can't afford to run them.
That's why I can't afford Razor Blades.
Do you know what I just imagine for you now? I'm envisioning you switch on all your computers and just the lights in the street just dimming slightly.
Well, he's turned them on again. Have to call up the grid. Guys, now about to flick the switch. Oh, for God's sake, here he goes again.
Because they divert extra power into the grid and they know that names like East End is coming. Yeah, for Kells. You have to bring him ahead saying I must switch off on my computers. Like, divert more power, more power to Skazz's network.
It's like, hang on a minute. Wait, this is more than we used for the entire country turning on kettles after EastEnders.
There's a whole nuclear power station that's just powering your house. Computers.
It's got a plaque above the door and everything.
Yeah.
It's a picture of me stood there with my with my computers next to me.
Vision is like, we're spilling up that generator. No the control rods. No raise the control rods. Let's get this reaction pumping ready for Skazz. He's going to need at least 2 or 3 gigawatts today.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
I'll have to try harder. I'll have to get rid of the Raspberry Pis and replace them with big old computers.
Dear me. Well, I've also been playing.
Who?
Yes.
On the Steam Link?
Not the Steam. No, this is prior to Steam Link.
Oh.
Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Second one.
It's the second one, but it's a prequel.
Right. That's the one that the bastards didn't put on Linux. They put the first one on there, but not the sequel.
Yeah. To be fair, the first one's a lot better.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
So the reason that they didn't put it on Linux was because it was shit. They were
No, it's not shit. It's just not as good as the first one.
Oh, okay.
So the first one you played this girl called Max, who returns to her hometown to do a photography course. She went to an old friend of hers called oh god, do you know I forgot her name.
Brain fart. I don't know her name.
No.
Is that the punky one?
Yeah.
The one's full of angst and hatred.
The one's full of angst and hatred. Yeah. There's a reason she's full of angst and hatred.
She's angsty.
That you find out through the normal Life is Strange. Oh god, what's her name? So I'm gonna have to Google this because is it Sam? It's not Sam. Dear me.
You know, there's a copy of Life is Strange in that top drawer over there, right?
Yeah, I've got to walk over there.
Hang on. That's not working.
Come on, use your psychic powers.
Oh, I can't. I've got a headache. I haven't had enough, like, I haven't managed to deafen myself with PC fans for a while. They're just all gone.
Yes. Oh god. Oh, come on.
See, even your setup's jumpy.
It's fine.
What in the name of Satan is causing these incidents?
Chloe Price, that's it. Chloe Price, right.
Is your camera set to 30 FPS or like 5?
I have no idea.
It's winding me up, I need to find out.
Right, well I'll tell you what I can fix that. You watch this. You'll like this. This will fix it completely. There we go, that's fixed.
Oh, it's gone. Oh, I've got a headache now. God, that's blue. Change the background.
Oh, fucking loud.
Oh,
there you go.
I'll do. Oh, that's white.
Well, I'm not changing that. Tough.
Well, I couldn't be bothered to turn on our light generally full screen. White, look at.
I've done that as well, yeah.
I don't feel so weird now.
No, I'm real opposite. You can just tell. You can always tell when I edit my videos back and I'm watching the film camera. I can always tell the moment I alt tab back to the Word doc. Just got my notes in it. I can see my face now. So yeah, I'm playing Life is Strange Before the Storm, which is the prequel to Life is Strange. You play this time as Chloe Price. So in the first game, you play Max Caulfield, who goes back to hometown, doing for Chloe class. She meets up with Chloe Price, and the story is basically them rekindling. It's partly based on. It's got three sort of screws. It's rekindling their relationship because they basically, when she left, she basically just ignored her.
Bollocks to you.
Pretty much ignored her. So there's a bit of resentment there because like we just left. We were best friends, and then you just completely
just disconnected.
They were also investigating. There's been like disappearances. People have been, girls have been disappearing.
She's a teacher.
Spoilers.
Oh right.
Spoilers.
Rockin'! When you're doing a photography course, there's always something creepy going on at a photography course.
Spoilers. There's people been disappearing.
You said it yourself. I mean, come on! I'm just connecting the fucking dots, mate.
People been kids.
Is the teacher, is the lecturer a dude or a chick?
I'm not saying any more now
because I'm gonna say, if it's a dude, then he's a psychopath. If it's a woman, then it's not the teacher.
I will not say anything else.
Just completely stereotyping male photography teachers.
Anyway, so you've got this missing girls, which you sort of not really investigate, but you sort of the course of the game will cause you to find out what's going on with them. And also, one of the girls who disappeared was this girl called Rachel Amber, so when Max left, Chloe gets involved with this girl called Rachel Amber, who you don't see in any flashbacks. You just hear about the relationship indirectly through talking with Chloe, and she disappears. Basically, when she disappears, what causes Chloe to go in a bit of a downward spiral? It's heavily implied that their relationship is more than just friends.
Oh, one of those, is it?
Yeah,
it's one of those.
Yes.
So scratching an itch that no one had.
Yeah. So that's all the background story to it. But one thing you find about the first Life Strange is Max discovers she has this ability to rewind time.
Yeah, I did see that. Odd mechanic.
It's an odd mechanic that works quite well. And some point it's a really hit and miss how much they make use of it. So in conversation, it means when people do conversations, most of those games, a lot of people will do is, I didn't go right. I'm going to restart this bit. I'm going to restart
instead you rewind.
Now you rewind the time. So that's almost like built in the restart the save scumming. They built in save scumming into the actual game itself.
Save scumming simulator.
It is used in some other parts. Like at one point you have to convince Chloe you have these magical powers, and to do it, you basically rewind time, and you have to observe a scene, and then you have to make. And and you basically then give predictions to her, and then she'll, oh yeah, that's right, so and so, and then she might.
I'm about to throw this hot coffee over your lap. What?
Yeah.
Get there.
Yeah, those sort of predictions. Yeah, yeah, that works. That's all. They made sort of reasonable use of it.
Sure.
Now, obviously, in the first game, they can't give Chloe Price those powers because she doubted you in the second. In the prequel game, it would break the continuity. So they've replaced it with what they call the Backchat system, because Chloe Price is a bit of a
dickhead.
Yeah, she's a bit of a bratty teen who's had a lot of hardship in her life, and she resents and she.
Mummy didn't give her any money that day.
Basically, her father got killed in a car accident.
Not my problem.
Well, it's her. This is what's happened to her, what explains her background.
She's a dick.
She's a bit of a dick, yeah. So she has all this sort of angst and whatever. So they place this Backchat system, so...
That was rather heartless of you, Nick.
Shut up. You get into conversation, and how it works is on the screen you'll have a number of dots, and then one side will be you, and the other side will be the person you're chatting with. And there'll be steps. There's a centre goal, and whoever completes their steps first wins the conversation, as it were. Right? I know this doesn't make sense. So what you have to do is, let's see. The first example is you need to go into a club. So you go speak to the bouncer of the club, and he says no. So you have to try and argue your way in by basically berating him and so forth. Now,
she's a very crappy social engineer.
Yes, but whatever he says. You've got to pick up what he says and extract words and phrases he uses from it, and then throw it back at him, like teenagers.
Twisting people's words.
Yes, exactly. Now, every time you get that right, you get a little mark on your circle. If you don't get it right, he gets a mark. They get a mark in theirs, and whoever gets the middle first wins. Now, that's quite easy straight away. But as you get to other ones, you'll get to stage where like they only have like one space to go in between. So if you make one mistake, you've had it. So you have to get quite good.
There that
it's not a fun mechanic.
I was going to say this character sounds like a right tosser.
She is a little bit.
A little bit.
It is.
Are you saying the story is going to justify this to me?
In this one, it's more clear. She's not as bad as she's in the first one. She's got more problems in her life. You know, she's not doing well at school. She used to be quite a good student. She's
it only takes one thing to go wrong to completely screw up her.
Exactly. She feels quite a real character because basically her father died and that pretty much knocked her for 6. Then with her friend Max leaving, she didn't really have many friends. All of a sudden she's by herself. She's basically and
she's lost her dad. Then her friend fucks off.
Her mother
doesn't feel like she's worth anything.
Her mother gets a new boyfriend who doesn't get on with. They do not get on. He's all ex-military, is quite harsh, and they do not get on.
Right.
So she sort of feels like she's been betrayed by her mother. She feels like it's sort of betraying her father's memory and so forth. So she's got a lot of problems in her life, and she's not stupid because she frequently quotes like from the Constitution, she's learned in school from history and so forth. She frequently quotes. She's not stupid, but she doesn't apply herself.
Sure.
Because she said there was problems going on in her life, and it's reflected in the game. It's reflected in her personality.
Okay.
And basically, what this does is she then runs into this girl called Rachel Amber, which is what causes because then Rachel Amber she gets involved with Rachel Amber and then gets really close and then she disappears, which is what caused her real breakdown in the first game.
That's a bit confusing to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's the second chronologically, but the first game released. That's what caused sort of her final moment where she just goes completely because she got a new best friend and then they just disappear. One day, completely disappear.
You can kind of understand why she's a bit of a dick, but
yeah,
there's no need to be a bit of a dick.
No, but it's understandable.
Yeah,
it's understandable, and that's what you find when you play because you see their relationship develop as they go on, and they do get very close and do things. I mean, the trouble is,
does it make the character any more palatable, stomachable after playing the pretquel than the?
I didn't mind her in the first game.
Okay.
Also, I did not mind her once you pretty quick. If you play, you pretty quickly realise that behind this facade of I'm just going to say fuck this, fuck that, fuck this, fuck that, and you screw you and all stuff. You realise quite early on, actually, that's all facade, and it's just her being defensive. And actually, you realise quite quickly she's actually quite a deep character, but she's hiding it.
Yeah.
So you actually get once you realise that actually she becomes quite likeable because you realise that she's actually just
not as much of a dickhead as she makes out.
She's a teenage girl. She's not fully mature. She's a teenage girl who's had a lot of shit happen in the span of a few years. You know, a lot of things have gone wrong for her in her mind, and you basically are seeing her. She's basically having a mental breakdown and basically going through depression, effectively. And that's when you encounter her. This basically sets up. It ties it very well and sets up her for the game. But it's got some lovely. I mean, so the Backchat mechanic is nowhere near as fun as the reversing time mechanic. The actual there's no sort of like there's a sort of a secondary story in there, but it's not as engaging as the what's actually missing people story. Right.
Which I guess isn't really established until the main game anyway.
No, it's not. And it's also not the other sort of. There's no real good subplots that sort of help drive it along.
Okay. The
first game had a lot of subplots going on that pulled it all together. They all pulled together nicely, and this one doesn't quite got all that.
But so then, do you feel it falls victim to a lot of things that prequels do wrong, in that because you already know how it ends, it feels a tad hollow?
No, actually, I enjoyed because you, as I said, you never knew anything about all you heard about Rachel Amber in the first game. The first game that was released was. You didn't. There's no dialogue with them. It's all hearsay, basically. It's all third party described for this. Oh, we did this, we did that. This game now, so it's a character you haven't met or interacted with. Now you get to interact with them and find out. Okay. But it feels very sad when you play it because you know how it's going to end for her. even though the game itself ends up on an upbeat tone of like, oh, they sort of have a really happy relationship and so forth. But you know that what happens to that relationship, you know what happens to her, you know she's going to disappear, you know what's going to happen. It does sort of leave a very sort of, not say sour taste, but a very sort of sad ending to it in a way.
Sure. You feel a tad betrayed because you know it's not going to end.
Not so much betrayed, but you just because you know when you first start playing what's going to happen.
Or that's what I mean. Like you almost feel guilty. I think would probably be better. You feel that you've set this character up for a good path, but you know it's not. You know it can't go
well. You know it's not going to end well, and that is how it feels. It just isn't
like a kind of reverse of if that game had been first, you'd have been like, yay, and then. Oh shit! When you played the next one, like if the first one was the second one in the series, like if that actually came as the second game, you'd then feel really crushed to find everything just fall apart around her again. Whereas this time round, you're kind of there's a bit of almost dread there.
Yes, that is right. You just know how it's gonna end, and also because anything that happens, like you know, if one of them gets injured or hurt, or something, you know it's gonna be all right because, well. Of course they're going to be fine because I've seen them. I know that's what we found with a few things that we've watched. In some cases, like we've watched some things recently that are slightly out of order, and they're like, well, because they're like, let's say it was a Japanese show that we were watching and it was released out of order here. You're like, well, why would we even care about what just happened to that character? We know they're going to be okay because they turned up in the next season or they turned up in the next big series of this thing. And it's like, well, that's the thing. So it's sad that
prequels are a bit.
Prequels are always problematic anyway, no matter what you do. But I think it fleshes it out nicely.
Do you think they'd make a third in there?
There is 12 Life is Strange 2 coming out. I'm not sure how.
That confused. I don't like. Don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's got some nice scenes in it. It's got some. I mean, I think the first game is quite a nice sequence because it's got some, although it's got the normal exploring game and so forth. There's a nice series. Ironically, we're talking about this today, where you can play Dungeons and Dragons. But it's like it takes you about 40 minutes, like a full-fledged little adventure.
So it's an actual proper side.
Yeah, you sort of like, oh, we can go here, we'll go there. Okay, what do you want to do here and so forth.
I kind of like games within games.
Yeah, it works really. There's a second one you can play, but I missed that by accident. I actually missed it. But there's like a second Dungeons and Dragons game you can play.
So it's all because it's obviously based on time. Is it? You can miss things in there.
Well, obviously, if you it's like in scenes, isn't it? If you leave a scene, you can't go back to it.
See, all I've really seen of it is of what Modkin the gnome has told me, Chalky.
Yeah.
Because he quite liked the game, and then he lent it to Inky, and I've seen Inky play it, and Inky instantly said that I wouldn't like the little angsty girl, and I didn't like the little angsty girl.
No. To be fair, I didn't like it the first time I played it, but by the time I got to like 2 or 3 episodes in, actually I was kind of once you realise that it's all just for show.
I have it on Linux, so would you say it's probably worth me taking a crack at it?
Have a go at it. You may not like it, but have a go at it.
Sure. Okay.
So have a go at it.
I'm already figuring things out.
Yeah.
Excellent writing.
Yeah. It is quite well written, to be fair.
Sure.
There's another scene later on where you get to act in a play.
Oh, that's terrifying.
But you have to actually memorise the lines.
Oh no! Do you ever feel when you see stuff like that? Do you ever feel cringy for like as if it was you doing it?
Yes.
Like you end up.
Oh god, I was nervous as hell. I was nervous as hell because you have to you get given the script and you assume it's going to be a case of one person will say dialogue, you've got then to pick the right option.
Yeah.
But no, sometimes it tricks you. So you'll start off right, but you then have to get for the next half of that bit of that speech. You've got to pick the right bit to end it off, and you have to do this dialogue.
I'm going to screw that up.
Yeah, I took photos.
And I'll be called. Oh no!
That'll be funny, mate. There are photos on my phone of the script.
Oh.
So
I'm going to go like this time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look like a dickhead. I'm not going to look. Oh, I made myself look like a dickhead.
The right way on the stage. If you've got to get to the right position on the stage.
Oh, I can't be doing
There's like coup marks. You have to make sure you get to the right place on the stage. So you don't mess it up. And it's got some really good bits. It's just that it's not got that. It's not got that sort of deepness of other plot lines attached to it that the first one had.
Sure.
Also, my real thing, the very Ubisoft thing about it. there is. It's also got DLC, because they always do. There's DLC where you can play. It's like a bonus episode, as it were, where you can play as Max Stormfield again from the first game.
Okay, yeah.
Right. The DLC is, well, at least when I last looked, it's the same price as the whole game.
That's not surprising at all.
That really pissed me off. It was like $2.99, like, probably justify that.
Yeah.
But it was like £9.
Wow.
For like a single, and the whole, I think it's 4 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes it is, was the same price.
Interesting.
Or like 10-15 quid. It's like, it's
actually not a bad price for a prequel game, is it really?
No, it's not actually that bad. I picked up in the Steam sale, to be
okay.
fair, so I didn't pay full price. I think full price about 15 quid.
Which is still
I think it's not bad. I mean, Life is Strange isn't that expensive.
Would that DLC have? Look, I mean, how long would that have been compared to the? I mean, have you played?
I don't know, because I sit there and thought, I'm not. Given how much you buy the prequel for like you bought it at full price. The price per episode is about half that for that single episode. Okay. That's a little. I was
going to say, but if the DLC was, say, half the length of the
that'd be different. Yeah. But I don't. It doesn't. It doesn't seem. It's just bonus. It's just bonus. To me, bonus episodes are generally short. Yeah. So I was like,
like a tie-in piece of a single scene. Okay.
I thought this is going to be like, if it's going to be like for £9 for like an hour-long thing, I'm going to be a bit peeved. I mean, it took me about 10 hours to get through the main game. That's quite reasonable. The episodes are less episodes.
10 hours. That's wow.
That's pretty. Yeah, but I took my time over, obviously.
Okay.
But the episodes are long. They're less episodes, but they are longer.
Okay.
I mean, there's one episode. I mean,
most. When you haven't feel that they're drag.
No. They does feel that you could probably split into 4 if you wanted to. You could probably do some more clean split into 4, but they do definitely feel longer. And it does have this annoying habit, and it's a minor niggle, of, I think I mentioned this before, you have establishing shots like of an area, and it'll just be like, they'll just like show lots of stylized, like sort of zoomed in, like say you're in an office somewhere, you might see stylized and that, or like tapping a pen on his desk or something, then a picture of an ornament, then of a clock, then of a bookshelf, and they'll hold on to each of those for about 4 or 5 seconds.
What
and it just takes so fucking. It's like afterwards, so just go on with it. I know I'm in the office, just go on with it.
There was another game that did that, or it felt like it did that, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. What am I thinking? Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain was I never played Heavy Rain, but I did play the first one, Fahrenheit 451. Not Fahrenheit, that's a book. Fahrenheit, the game, was, which I quite liked actually. Although it started off well, but then goes completely off the rails at the end.
Goes a bit Max Payne on you.
It goes completely weird at the end. You could tell they basically rushed it at the end, because I remember playing it and going so far, and you meet this old lady so far, and you're playing along and so forth. Then at the very end, we meet this old lady again, and you think, oh yeah, I talked to her earlier, she helped me understand what was going on with retrieving this mystical power. And then all of a sudden, she just sort of like turns to the digital avatar, which is like a digital version of like a physical representation of the internet. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, like when you play a game through and everything seems really solid, sound, there are no plot holes,
no real plot holes. The internet.
But then all of a sudden you get to this point, you're like, the budget's running out, and someone will say to you, just imagine that someone's there and they say, how can you tell? Because it looks like we're just taking LSD because the script has gone right out of them.
Yeah, it goes completely bananas. The last sort of third of it goes completely, it's been quite a solid storyline, so the last third just goes completely bizarre.
I thought Assassin's Creed did that, to be honest.
Yeah.
That went a bit.
Assassin's Creed, to be fair, the plot of Assassin's Creed's been weird right from the start.
Oh, it was weird, but then it kind of went, I hate to say it went full retard.
Yeah.
It went really, really out there. It's like, okay, there's a machine that lets me travel into my distant past or whatever ancestors there. Fine, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden my ancestor is experiencing an event meant for me that I could only see through this machine that was talking about the end of the world because of sunspots, solar flares. Okay.
Yeah. It got very way down its own storyline, didn't it?
Yes. And then they just threw that out the next time. Yeah, well, because we're trying to tie it into current events. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, Mass Effect had a similar thing. Mass Effect was in the first game, we sort of learn a bit about the Reapers. The second game starts setting up a plot line for like, I can't remember what it was for. It was a plot line that wasn't to do with was involved the Reapers, but it turned out the Reapers were actually like saving the galaxy from something worse.
Yeah.
And they existed for a reason. But the plot line itself, you could tell it was the up for was, I thought it was something to do with Sons as well. I can't remember what it was, but it was clear like this is just going to be bizarre. And then the third game, I think they thought that was going a bit out there. We'll quietly forget about that plot line. Just go back to the Reapers.
Yeah. Can I throw out there? I also hate it when, and this kind of the same thing. I also hate it. Cause we're going off on a bit of a tangent.
That's fine. That's what we do.
I also hate it when. So let's say there's a villain. Right, this person has already been established as the big bad of the universe, right? And then just randomly, a little bit later, they decide to revisit the series. Like, I don't know, you know, like Mass Effect, they made Mass Effect Andromeda or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Imagine they've finished the series, the big bad has just been wrecked, gravy. Then a few years later, it's like, hey, let's go back to that series, we'll make the thing again, but we're going to rewrite the motivation of the big bad. We recently watched, so as an explanation, we're going to go Dragon Ball, because I played Dragon Ball a while ago, didn't I? In the Dragon Ball universe, or in the Dragon Ball Z universe, the big bad in that is called Frieza. Frieza destroys an entire race of people for really very little reason. You just think that he feels threatened by this race, so he just fucks them up. Which is the motivation of a couple of other main characters to then go and fight him. They're like the two last survivors of this race or whatever that somehow managed to escape Fluff. So, you've established the motive of the two people. They want to get revenge. You know that this guy has wiped them out because he's super strong and he wants to wipe out the people who could potentially rival him in the future. Then, 10, 15 years later, 20 years later, we decide we're going to come up with a new film, and there's someone else that was pushing the buttons of the big bad the entire time.
Yeah. That's, in a way, fine, as long as, but you have to put clues and stuff in the when you do it the first time.
In the source material.
Little clues that aren't obvious, that people can go back and go, oh yeah, that makes sense now, because of what we've done later on. But they, obviously, that situation was, they actually wanted to just shoot in or more stuff.
Yeah, they wanted a new character.
They wanted to retcon it, basically.
I mean, they never once established that this person was a puppet.
No.
Ever. They never once even made it, even a slight hint that this person could be manipulated by another, you know, outside source. But then in the new series or the new film, yep, you're just a puppet.
Yeah.
You were just a weakling the entire time.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was pointless.
That's because, well, obviously they said was the big bad, and then he gets defeated at the end. Oh, we need to have a big bad now.
Well, they had bigger bads in the series after, because I mean, this big bad gets killed season 2, or wrecked season 2, season 3, and then there's always like, oh, this person's stronger, this person's stronger, but the main motivation for two of the characters to get stronger to start with was to fight this guy.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be the universe's ultimate evil.
Yeah.
Only to find out there was someone 3 million times stronger than him that made him quiver in his boots, that was just literally pulling the strings.
Yeah.
I asked him to do it, so has he done it? Yes, he did, but he's just been killed.
I think TV series in general have a problem where they have to, whenever they introduce a new villain, it has to be worse than the previous villain. It just has to be a villain, it doesn't have to necessarily be worse. I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer stuff in bad. If this is the first season, you're up against an old vampire. Okay, he's been bad. Second season, you're up against her and Janice, who basically a vampire who was forcibly given a soul as a curse. But if he ever experienced a moment of true pleasure, he basically lost his soul again. Basically, it's a curse. So you can never be. He had a soul, but he couldn't be happy. If he was happy, he'd lose it again. Which seems a bit of a backfire curse, but go for it. Then the season after, I've got this right. Season after that was basically season after you. Well, let's jump a couple of seasons later, because then there's another season where she was fighting against a load of army people, like who basically had to set up an army base, so they're a bit more organised, more stronger. Then she got to the season which was you felt was meant to be the end of the series. She fought a god.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
So far from them. But then, obviously, it got renewed.
Where do you go from a god?
Well,
the god's brother.
They basically thought we'll have to do something different here. So they basically went down. And she ended up fighting a group of 3 nerds, basically, who decided to everything. And to be fair, that was actually quite a fun little series. Actually, the God series was one of the best ones they did because they actually had to explain because the God she was in her God. Without spoiling it, although it's another series, when she was in her god form, she was basically, you couldn't kill her. Like they saw, the only way they had to actually hurt her was they managed to find another god's weapon, and that's all like slightly dazed her a little bit. She was like impossible to kill. They could bullets wouldn't hurt, nothing would hurt. She was properly a proper god. So after that, they had these 3 sort of nerds, but that was sort of a clever sort of bait and switch. They actually weren't the bad guys. The bad guy was actually one of her own friends who at the very end basically has a tragedy happen to her and just goes completely off the rails.
Sure.
She's called, basically, again, these are spoilers for a series that ended about 20 years ago. They defeat these nerds and one of them is so annoyed by what's going on, he's so upset at all these clever plans and words, he just goes around with a gun to shoot her. But he misses, because he's obviously never had a gun, he misses, he kills the girlfriend of this witch who lives there, and she goes completely off the rails, and she just says, and she goes, she absorbs all this bad black magic, she flays one of them alive. And you see that on screen, yeah, she flays one alive, she sort of like tortures another, and she basically decides to destroy. She's so gruesome, she decides to destroy the whole world. Oh, neat. And that's a nice arena because that literally you did not see that coming. You did not see it like, oh, you think, well, they're feeding. What's going to happen in the next 3 episodes? And all of a sudden, this happens. I think, what the fuck? Because they just this really nasty thing. The episode, because all this time, this side character, Tara's her name, has been. Just like as a guest, starring on the sort of, not on the main credits, then afterwards you got sort of the first opening scene, there was those extra bits at the bottom, isn't it? Yeah. I was just starring so-and-so as Tara. At this sort of stage, they push him to the main credits, the same episode she gets shot. So they think, oh, she's a main character now, they shoot her. That was genius. I thought that was really clever, that was well done, that was really well done. And in the final season, she fights basically fear itself. Okay. The sort of entity that causes fear, she fights that itself, which is quite interesting. But they basically couldn't go, once they had that goal, they couldn't really go anywhere. Yeah. Because they just escalate. But you didn't have to always escalate, you can just be a good villain who's interesting. You don't have to escalate, and that's a danger you get into.
TV tends to fly off the rails at that point. Yeah, and games do it too.
Oh, games do it all the time. Whoever you fight the next game has got to be worse than what you fought in the previous game. I mean, every TV does it. I mean, look at like Breaking Bad.
That went way too far.
Yeah, well, first you had Tuco was like sort of a semi-bad guy, sort of big bad in the series. So they sort of got involved with him, and then realised.
Yeah, he was a dealer. He was kind of a gang leader, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then
he gets knocked off, and then who's in the sort of bad guy? When did Gus turn up? Was he second season?
I can't remember if that was second or third.
He's the baddie of the 3rd season, effectively, isn't he? Because he's second season where he saw too far.
Tuco was season 2, was he not?
No, he appeared in season 1 initially, and then he got killed off in the early part of season 2. Okay. But because I think sort of season 1 ends with him doing where he beats somebody up, and they realise, fuck, who have we got involved with? And that's all when season 1 ends, I think.
I can't remember that at this point.
And then from after Gus, you then end up facing the neo-Nazis. And so many people go on about how that last season with the neo-Nazis is perfect. I think it's a really poor season.
No, I don't like it.
I didn't like it at all. I actually sort of lost interest in watching at that point. So, yeah, I mean the last episode was really good, but that whole season I really didn't have any interest in it at all.
They were characters
they were too cardboard cutout.
And there were also characters that they were kind of established earlier on, weren't they? But then thrown away. Yeah. And I just thought to myself, why did they bring you back? you had no grunt at all whilst Gus was around. It's obviously that some evil had to take its place.
Yeah.
But it was a shit one.
Yeah.
They could have done so much more there.
Yeah, but it was like, it did feel like they didn't quite know what to go for. So people say, oh, it's perfect all the way through. It was really good until they appeared. It wasn't bad at that point. It wasn't shit. But I didn't like that at all.
No, I didn't like them as characters.
They weren't compelling. Gus was bloody compelling as a character. Even though he's a bad guy, he's bloody compelling.
I mean, if I had to be honest, what it would have been like. So imagine Gus is the big overlord, right? And Tuco's just a random foot. He isn't a random foot soldier, but in comparison, that's how they kind of seem. Like one guy's the tax man, and I don't know, the other guy's the guy with the nukes.
Yeah.
Right. All of a sudden, it was like they took a foot soldier and then threw them above Gus.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't take a group of people who were clinically mental like Tuco and then elevate them.
What they could have done was they could have had the Mexican drug cartels who Gus was facing off against, basically sort of. They could have moved in. Gus is gone. Also, they just took the opportunity to move in and get some really nasty. They indicated they had some really nasty people that side. Move them in. So Tuco is like saw the hint about what they were like. This is actually the main fault. I know Gus killed a load of them off.
Yeah, but who's to say that now Gus has gone? Yeah, they don't.
There must have been others. Move straight into there. It's like, okay, we've got control now. But
instead, they put in a bunch of.
Yeah, that girl Lydia, didn't you? She was in charge of that organisation, that big, which was basically one of the. She was in charge of this. She was involved in that sort of like logistics organisation.
She was part of a pharma company, wasn't she? Or?
Yeah, German conglomerates that was basically bankrolling. Yeah. Sort of Gus, basically, effectively. He was involved heavily with them and so forth.
Crippled.
Well, he did, didn't they? But that just didn't work because she wasn't a very interesting character either.
No, but then neo-Nazis.
That was shit. Yeah.
As a way to
end. They weren't interesting characters.
No.
So.
They literally just seemed like not Mexican Tuco.
No, they're basically put there just so Walt had someone to have a fight with at the end.
It was almost like they were throwaway characters because you knew that Walt was going to just...
Yeah.
I mean, because Walt, whilst he was evil, was never really quite as...
I think the whole thing was that, okay, Gus is gone, Walt's going to sort of take Gus's place. They build him up, and then very quickly he just decides not to do it.
Yeah.
So quickly. They would be far more interesting if they built him up and he got to about 2 way through that last season, he gets sort of, I'm the boss now.
Yeah.
And then it all collapses around him.
That would have been brilliant.
And then he's on the run, and that's how it ends. He's sort of basically, and he ends up being killed in a standoff, so also like that. He ends up with a run before finishing off. But the whole subplot of like Paul with Jesse being sort of like a pet, it wasn't a great last season.
And with Walt ending up being stuck out in the boonies, and it didn't really sit.
Yeah, I mean, I still think the last episode was really good. I still think it was one of the best last episodes of the season there, but I mean, I recently watched Breaking Bad. I literally got to the point where Gus died, and I just stopped watching. Yeah. I just had no interest to carry on at that point. No interest at all. I don't need to watch the rest of it. Gus dead. That's
some of it was really, really, really good, and it was really well shot, and it was really well tied together. But it almost seemed like the Gus season was supposed to be the last one.
I think so. It felt like there was an oh shit moment when they killed him off. Like, oh, where do we go from here? And yeah, it did feel like that. So
it kind of lost the flair.
Yeah.
That sparkle had gone, the magic wasn't there.
Yeah.
They had to throw something together to fill that contract.
I mean, up to that point, it had been solid all the way through. Really solid.
I mean, there was lots of foreshadowing from the start, really, wasn't there? All the way up until the end of Gus, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Rehashing things we'd already seen before, but with a different group.
And in Gus tied nicely because he tied in with Tuco's grandfather, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he tied with
but that's what I mean. All of the kind of loose threads seem to kind of come together as a nice tapestry at the end of it. And then they'd had nothing.
Yeah.
They'd tied off all the ends. And rather than elevating Walt to be where they were, because that's what it seemed like they were going to do.
Yeah.
They just pulled up some foot soldiers.
It wouldn't have been an interesting situation where they'd gone to the route of the company that Gus was involved with. They know that Walt was involved with them. Go and say, look, come on, Gus is gone, but we need somebody. We can bankroll, we can go. Walt carries on going at this point, and so forth. but Hank's getting closer and closer and closer. It'd been
how they dealt with him fucking infuriated me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it would have been great if you got to a stage where basically it was Walt v Hank. At some point, it's like, right, okay, one has got to go. Because Walt's been trying to cover Hank, but then it gets to a stage where he can't cover him anymore. He's got to get rid of Hank, and that'd be a real proper sort of end that Walt just kills Hank. That would have been. We should have written this series.
I know.
So.
We should call them up and say, look,
rewrite it,
redo. That was season 5. Redo season 5. That was absolute horse shit.
Yes.
This is how it should have been.
Yes. We can do that. We'll sort that out. We'll start a petition.
That's it.
Cool. Shall we move on to our last bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Other news. Nintendo is selling cardboard boxes
Yes.
without anything in them.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Is it Labo? Labo?
I don't actually know how it's pronounced. It's spelled Labo though.
Labo. Yeah, so it's basically a accessory for the Switch. It's a cardboard box.
They are called. So, I don't know a great deal about them. No one really does, but they are being coined as Toy-Cons. So you've got your Joy-Cons, which is standard hardware for the Switch. Toy-Cons are accessories, I guess, for your Joy-Cons for your Switch. What Labo is like, when you make like little paper and card dice.
Yeah.
As a kid, you then get a net and you follow instructions and you make the dice. Labo is like that. You get
to the point where they don't roll properly.
Yeah, so it's kind of pointless. But Labo is basically a set of games that come with a set of cardboard nets or something, and the game will give you instructions to create a cardboard piano, a cardboard motorcycle, a cardboard fishing rod, what else was there? Cardboard, like little bug robot things.
Yeah. Was there a camera or something like that?
I don't know about camera. I know there was like a robot backpack thing, like Rock'em Sock'em robot style thing. But you get to build all of these neat little things, and then you insert your Joy-Cons into them, and then using the different sensors that are in the Joy-Cons, they do things, and I guess it kind of makes it into a more what's the word, where you can feel it and experience.
Interactive.
Sure.
Immersive.
Yes, that's probably where I was going.
Yeah, I also think it's trying to tap into this isn't a name I like. Trying to tap into the maker market.
Perhaps.
A little bit, the idea of sort of like making things and your gadgets to go things. I think it's sort of try and sort of tap into that a little bit, but in fact it's not a pre-built accessory. You have to put part of the fun is putting it together.
You can customize it and all that kind of stuff, and at the end of the day it is only cardboard, so why not, eh?
I mean, if they're selling about sort of $50-60.
I think they said somewhere in the regions of each set is anywhere between $50 and $70. There are 2 sets at the moment.
You do get a game with that.
Yes,
which makes
it is not just
you're not paying $70 for a bit of cardboard. You are getting games. To be fair, how much games? About the same
games
price?
for the Switch anywhere between $25 and $60.
So it's basically you're buying a game with some cardboard.
Yeah,
that's what
you're getting software with some like flat pack cardboard accessories.
I think somebody, actually I know I got the idea, Cam. Someone suggested, I was reading on the Reddit from services, what they need to do is make one that looks like a camera, put your Joy-Cons in, and then release Pokemon Snap 2.
Yeah, could do.
Yeah.
If only the Switch had a camera to make like an augmented reality style.
Yeah.
That would have been really neat. But I mean, some of it. Imagine the really goofy plastic accessories you got for like the Wii and the PlayStation Move.
Now you can have goofy cardboard ones.
Kind of, but the idea is that these aren't cheapy plastic pieces of shit that really only serve one purpose. This is something more that you can customize it. You can build it. You can do. There's a little bit more interaction in it rather than just I'm going to stick my Joy-Con in it and play this little mini game or kind of thing.
I suppose also in theory that if you break those little shitty plastics, and you would because they're shitty little plastic things, you'd have to go buy another one if they still made them, which they used to do in limited quantities. It's a bit of cardboard.
In the grand scheme, what's stopping you from cutting a piece out yourself?
Exactly, yeah.
And repairing it.
Use one as a template, just put a bit of sellotape, it's repaired now, or use it as a template and cut another one out, or...
I mean, and that's one of the things...
It wouldn't surprise me if at some point they actually, after so long, they would just release them on as a... You can
just download
stick it onto your big card and then cut around it, yeah.
And that's one thing that I find a tad odd. Because a lot of people are slagging this off, oh, it's really expensive and it's cardboard and it's going to break. It's like, but it's cardboard and elastic bands, and you can get those from a craft shop.
There's no shortage of cardboard. Just go to any sumo and just say, "Can I have some cardboard boxes?" They'll give them to you.
Think about it. You're going to push out the cardboard nets, right? And what are you going to have left over? You're going to probably throw away the piece of card that's left over, but there's a fucking template right there that you can then use to draw around and make replacement parts if you needed to.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal.
No.
Now...
but I feel a lot of it, some people have been listening to this, but some people complain, but I feel a lot of the joking has been, so say, in good humour.
Some people I know have actually ripped the ever-loving crap out of it.
Always will be, yeah.
But the way that... Because I got asked about it in a live stream and I had no idea. Because I think a lot of the negativity of Labo, and there has been a lot of it, people expected this little Nintendo Direct where they announced it to be something else.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, Metroid, Smash Brothers, something else, not cardboard.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I can't remember whose tweet it was, but it was basically a tweet of a conversation between an adult and Nintendo. And Nintendo go, hey, look, here's a cool thing for kids and people who want to act like kids. And then it'll go to like the adult gamer, and the adult gamer says, yeah, but this is fucking cardboard and it's expensive. Why would I want that? And then Nintendo will reply, it's not for you, it's for kids. And they're like, but cardboard in my game room? Really? What? No, I don't want that. That's just silly. Nintendo replies again, it's for children. The adult gamer replies, how is it for me? So, well, it isn't. If you don't like it, you don't buy it. You don't play it. And it's just, it's silly. I don't like Fallout, or Fallout 3 and 4. Does that mean they shouldn't exist? No.
No.
You know, you can have it, you like it.
Yeah. There's not a shortage of games out there. There's not a shortage. It's not like, okay, guys, I'm sorry, we've made the 50,000 games we've released, that's it, no more games have been released.
We've run out now, it's all
You
gone.
can't release any more games, that's it, we've had enough, we can't do anymore. There's no shortage, so there could be 1,000 crappy games out there, and you can think they're shit, but do you know if someone enjoys them?
Yeah.
You still think they're rubbish, but you know, if someone else enjoys them, they're fair to you, you get some joy out of it.
You're not a huge fan of Galgun. I think it's fucking hilarious. It's cringy as fuck, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, I'm sure there's some people out there who don't like Warhammer and D&D.
Yeah.
We've both played Warhammer and D&D.
And we're not satanic ritual people, are we?
Not all the time. Yeah. Now, we don't like football, but we understand that people like football.
Yeah.
For silly
I
reasons.
would be quite happy if football did exist.
Same.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, that's neither here nor there. But the thing with Labo is I think Nintendo have really hit it here, because my children saw it. I didn't show them. Some parents did show their children to try and get a reaction out of them. My oldest son comes through with his Nintendo Switch. Look at this! And I was like, what? And I was like, oh no, he's found fucking Labo adverts. He spent the rest of the evening watching those videos over and over and over again. My youngest son comes down at 5 o'clock in the morning the following day. Check this shit out! And I was like, not literally check this shit out, but you know, he seemed really excited.
He's 16, by the way.
He's like, look at this! Wow! And the boys were really, really excited for it. That they get to build these things and play around with them. The idea that there's a little piano that they can make and it will play music as they tap the cardboard keys. That, you know, there's a little robot suit that you can build where you can throw a punch and the robot in the game throws a punch. That there's a little... Have you seen those jitterbugs? They're like little vibrating toys that you make like they're shaped like bugs, and you turn them on and then you run them. They run along a little track that you build.
No, I haven't. But Like Scale Electrics, but bugs, is it?
But so basically, the idea is that like you'd have like cardboard or like a little track or a little plastic track, like Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
And then you have the little bug, and all the bug literally does is it's a little plastic cockroach style thing, and it just vibrates. But if you put it on this track, it will vibrate along the track at varying speeds. It will just kind of find its way around the track by shaking. One of the Labo things is literally one of those that you control with the Switch screen that has left, right, and you put your Joy-Cons into like the little cardboard bug thing, and depending on how you press it, each Joy-Con will vibrate and cause it to move around. Kids love this stuff.
Yeah. Everything when you're a kid, anything idea you can make and then have it do things afterwards. It's really interesting, interactive.
To people who really complained about it and thought it was really silly and stupid, Lego Mindstorms is an example. Do you remember that? That used to be like £100
still got a Lego Mindstorms. Oh, it's more than that. It's about £300 a kit now.
Actually, I got to play with it in school, but when I went to get my own, it was so expensive I could never even imagine. Like the little base bit was like £100 or something.
160 quid for no, 160 quid for the kit that came with the intelligent block and loads of all stuff to go with it, and it had motors and sensors and all sorts. 160 quid. Yeah. So I bought one.
See, there you go, 100, because fuck man, that was in like 96.
Oh, this was in 2000, I did bought one because we were using them at university.
Actually, no, when I saw them, it was literally very early on. Like,
I think mine was the third generation. I think they're now into the 6th generation.
Oh, they're still making them, are they?
Yeah. Well, they're about 300 quid now, but I think you can't, I think you can only, they're now basically totally focused on schools. I don't think you can easily buy them as an individual anymore.
Oh, sure, because I was going to say, like, we were running Windows 95 at the time when we were playing with these.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, it's still, I think the new ones have got all like Bluetooth control and stuff in them as well. You can Bluetooth and on your phone and stuff, and you can also link them to Arduinos. Oh, not officially, but you can
hack them together.
And I think you can also hack them together with Raspberry Pis as well.
I bloody hope so.
Yeah. So to be honest, if you've got someone who's interested in getting into robotics, Lego's not a bad way to go.
Sure, but like there's that, and people are but building things and it does stuff, but it's expensive. Yeah, sure. I mean, Mindstorm's you're going to get more out of it than Labo, for example, but this is for much younger children.
For a child building a piano, I think it would be thrilling.
But then here's why I didn't instantly slag it off, because I was talking to my mate Divine about it. He said, well, what do you think? I said, you've got kids. I said, well, they might like it. They love it. They love the idea of it. And I said, I'm not going to slag it off, because I can remember the days of when I was a child, I would build accessories for toys. Yeah. So imagine a cardboard box with a hole cut out of it could be a base for army men, or a cardboard box could be a spaceship, or a base, or a car, or anything. Like you just imagined it, and it would be so. What the fuck is wrong with using your imagination and playing with a bit of cardboard? Yeah. Kids don't necessarily need super high-tech, hardcore. No, they don't. I think Nintendo have done a good thing with this.
Yeah.
Depending on how much they price replacement parts. I mean, but then considering you can go to a craft shop, a lot of adults are complaining it's not for them.
Well, but Nintendo has always been a family-oriented console, anyways. It's never
with Doom 2016 on it.
Yeah, but it's family-oriented, but not necessarily all. But and I think you've got to accept that Nintendo's always been family-oriented. Yeah. I mean, look at the Wii. Yep. It's always been about the family, Nintendo. Yep. Whereas I'd say the likes of PlayStation and Xbox have got more mature. They still have kids games on them, but they're definitely when you look at like any of the free PlayStation, all they show you is all the latest Call of Duties and so forth. Yeah. Then you go to Nintendo, they show you Mario Rabbids, and whereas it's a different. They're aiming for different people. They're aiming for people like you who've got family. You want your kids to play something that you know they're going to have fun with. Yeah. That if you want to actually put PlayStation games that are actually appropriate to children, I mean, assuming you don't learn play games that are higher rated than that, you know, that you play
sure.
a game that's 6 years old. There ain't much choice really, actually.
No, there isn't.
No.
I mean, I tend to heavily vet games that my children play, and they do play a few that are out of their age range, but nothing that I would consider...
Not massively out of the scene.
Well, like my boys have played Monster Hunter, for example, but there is nothing particularly aggro in Monster Hunter to scare a child that, say, they wouldn't associate with Mario Brothers. I mean, alright, so they're stabbing at a dinosaur with a little knife, but there's nothing ridiculously graphic in it. Someone will say, well, how are you comparing that to Mario Brothers? My gran, when I was a child, used to think that Mario Brothers was one of the most violent things in the world, because you jumped on turtles. You would just jump on them and they would shatter or explode. You know, there's nothing too hardcore there. My children would play... I wouldn't let them play Doom for a start, but they might play Contra 1. That's just like little guys running around shooting little dudes. Nothing graphic.
Got to go to London, Sam Co nice and early, haven't you?
That's it. You know, it's got to be done. But then, you know, I look at it from when I was a child. I was playing Doom at age 8.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem at you know, maybe age 10 or 11 or whatever. I don't know. But I wouldn't let my children play the modern equivalents of those, because that's fucking ridiculous. And yeah, you're right. The kids game market is really, really, really thin. Mario. I don't actually think. What's the age rating on Rabbids? Because I don't actually think it's as low as people seem to think. Well, there are some kind of kiddie-looking games that don't have, like, say, the child-friendly age rating you'd think they would.
Yeah. So I don't know off the top of my head. I know I've been playing a game that looks like it should be about for children. It's called a game I've been playing called Bad Rats, which looks like it should be for children. Actually, it's very, very violent. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think probably the most violent thing my children have played really is probably Dragon BallZ Universe 2.
Yeah. I mean, sort of like play a PS, PlayStation, and Xbox for source. Is that they started off as consoles which anybody could play, and there's lots of different games, and they've assumed the same games are following along. So as they've got older, they've kept following along the games.
Yeah.
Whereas Tower said, no, we're just going to assume that they're all going to be bought by families. And you have the violent games on there, Doom.
Yeah.
But you also have there's nothing wrong being kid friendly. It's also there's something for everybody. Kids got to play something. You've got to get hooked into the gaming ecosystem sooner or later.
Oh, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Mario and that wasn't necessarily a kids game back when it first came out. It was just a game for everyone. It just seems to be sold to kids a lot.
Yeah. I think it's associated as a kids game because by today's standards, side-scroll, platformers are generally seen as children's games. In general, platformers are seen as children's games because they're sort of simple and it's a bit cutesy. There's nothing particularly violent in it, and so forth. It's got a simple storyline about a man trying to take it's got. So I think by today's standards, it's seen a kids game. But at the time, it was just a game. And the reason I like that is because it couldn't be complicated.
That's it.
So
I don't know. It's. I would just like to quickly throw out there that whilst PlayStation and Xbox don't do anything to come across as particularly kid-friendly, they don't really do anything to be unique either. When I watch an E3 PlayStation or Xbox event, 9 times out of 10 I'm seeing games that may as well just be on one or the other. There's multi-plats. There's nothing different between the two. It's like, oh hey, hulking great dudes in power armor on one system, hulking great dudes in power armor on another system. Random. I'm trying to think of what games would really differentiate the two platforms. First-person shooters. No, they're on both.
It's more the titles than the actual individual titles. So
yeah, but even then, like you've got what Gears of War on Xbox, but then you had Army of Two on PlayStation and Xbox. They were pretty much the same kind of games.
Halo on Xbox, and you had Killzone on PlayStation.
Yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, they weren't really doing anything different.
No.
Anything that really pushed the envelope. Whereas I think that's what kind of differentiates them from Nintendo. Whilst Nintendo stuff is rather child friendly. They are trying something different and new every goddamn time.
Yeah.
Splatoon. Who would have seen Splatoon coming a couple of years ago?
No.
I
think in the case of Nintendo, it works quite well for them because let's take the Wii as an example. The idea of you can just like sort of do bowling and sort of golf and stuff. There are a lot of people who bought that for Christmas time. It probably got played 3 or 4 times and put in a box and never touched. Sold the console though, didn't they?
Yeah, for sure. They sold the hardware.
Yeah, they made the money off it.
Nintendo did. The publishers did.
Yeah, but what would be interesting to know how many games Wii's were sold that were only sold with Wii Sports and nothing else. I think there'd be quite a few.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because that's what a lot of people bought the console for.
Yeah.
I mean, I played quite a few games on the Wii. I don't think I had many games hand on it.
People laughed at the Wii, then all of a sudden, PlayStation's now got motion controls, some got motion controls.
Yep.
And then the Xbox had the motion controls.
It got the Kinect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People laughed at them. The Wii's.
And then everyone copied it.
Everybody copied it because they also realised, actually, this is not a bad idea. So,
admittedly, none of them lived up to the hype of the Wii.
Yeah, the Wii U was designed from the ground up to be like that system, was it? Designed from the ground up to use nunchucks and so forth, whereas the PlayStation had it sort of jerry-rigged into its controller, and the Kinect obviously was an accessory that got...
Well, they did make their own Wii Remote style device for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And they still use them now. I think it's quite funny that Sony are recycling the PlayStation Move wand things with the glowing balls on the top for the PlayStation VR experience.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway, PlayStation has been in for the past movement. Do you remember the ITV?
Oh, what, the little camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a unique idea.
They remade the ITV as the PlayStation Eye for one of my favourite games on the PlayStation 3 called Eye of Judgment, which was an augmented reality card game. So I take it you've never seen Eye of Judgment. It would have been a game I think that it might have loosely appealed to you, very faintly, in that you ended up with like a 9-square grid. And
was this where you actually played a physical card?
Yes, and then it would appear in the game, and then the events would actually happen based on what you did on the board, on the mat. So the moves, like you would then draw a card from your deck, you'd have a hand, you'd then play it, and then depending on how you play it because obviously the mat was blank to you, but then you looked on the screen and the enemy would be placing cards on that grid to you, and that game was fucking amazing in my opinion. I loved that game. Shamefully they shut down the servers for it. It was you can't buy the cards for it anymore or anything like that, but it was really, really fun to play. I thought. Really clever idea. Augmented reality on the PlayStation 3 using a web camera. A little USB camera. Very clever. Very clever. But we'll never see another one like that.
No.
I like that game.
Someone make a PC version, surely. Yeah, webcam.
I wish someone did. I mean, I get it. The only thing
putting the cards up for the website.
Well, that was the thing that people were like, oh, well, I'm just going to print the cards because they claimed that it was really hard to pirate the cards or clone the cards. It was literally just some kind of like runes written on the top and bottoms of the cards as like a barcode that would then make the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish there was another version of that game. And it had a cracking soundtrack too. They made a sequel, but it was on like PSP or something, so the cards were built into the game. You didn't actually have anything physical.
Yeah.
And the idea was that you could actually play Eye of Judgment without the eye, without the actual portal or whatever it was. You could just sit there on a table with your mat and play the cards with your mate if you knew the rules. But you know, things like that. That's probably the best thing Sony has done. In comparison to like pushing the envelope like Nintendo, where Nintendo came up with like motion controls and things like that. I don't think the Kinect ever really did anything for gaming. However, I think in terms of computer science and robotics, it did quite well. because that camera was apparently really quite complex, and once you fed it into a PC, you could do some really neat things with it.
I know some people, some indie devs have used a set of Kinect as like a low budget motion capture studio.
Yeah, so look, because it would.
If you got, you need at least, ideally 3. 4 would be better, but 3 as sort of minimum. And you position them up, wake up to a computer, and you can use them as motion capture software, a motion capture program.
Yeah, because it would read distance and all that kind of stuff apparently quite accurately, albeit with a bit of a delay. It was
supposedly very, very accurate, yeah. But if you had because you could hack them into a PC, if you had a PC with enough grunt in it, it could, you could.
Because I did actually hear people kind of manipulating software with the Kinect.
Yeah.
Like they'd actually, I don't actually remember what it was they were doing, but like you could maybe pick things up or move things with it.
You could get a hack for the PC that basically, you've seen Minority Report, where he sort of like has the interface for and you could do that with your PC. So there's an example, and this is actually Microsoft did this example where they actually used the ribbon interface on the Microsoft Office.
Yeah.
They could actually scroll through it using their hands and so forth. What I think people realised quite quickly on is actually after about 5 minutes of doing it, it's quite tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kinect was a neat concept, just there were some flaws with it, and gamers don't really want to do the whole motion-y jumping. They don't want that to be the only way they can play.
No.
And in the case of the Wii, when people realised they could just sit there and waggle the remotes, it fell apart pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Nintendo still do motion controls in some of their games. Like I think most Switch games have some kind of motion thing tacked in.
Yeah.
Skyrim, you can draw back a bow. Doom, you can melee kill people. What was some of the other ones? I don't know. I don't use motion controls. Oh, Mario Odyssey, like you have to flick to throw the hat and things like that. But yeah, Nintendo do things differently. Other people laugh at them, then they copy them. I wouldn't say Nintendo is really a kiddie system, but
it's more, I was thinking, more family focused.
And you have to admit though that it's probably a good idea that they do go for the simpler looking childish games, because they do tend to run underpowered hardware.
Yeah.
And that's the best kind of thing to put on underpowered hardware. It's something that doesn't look quite as complex as Gears of War, Halo, Killzone, Uncharted. You have to go for the simpler stuff like Mario.
You can hide it, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's more cartoony and goofy, but that hides the lack of power.
Yeah.
Cel-shaded graphics. It's not going to... Rendering hyper-realistic facial expressions, it's going to take way more grunt than say what the Switch has got. Yet if you were to say make a cartoony character or a cel-shaded character, great. I mean, look at something like Fortnite and PUBG. One of them has a bit more of a realistic look and the other one's really cel-shaded and goofy. Fortnite would probably be the kind of more childishy Nintendo-y one versus PUBG. And that's an odd comparison to make, but that's why they do it. It takes less grunt to do it. They have lower power hardware. And let's be fair, Nintendo are fucking rolling in money, so they're doing something right.
Yeah. Everybody laughs, and then every year they say, "Well, we sold the most consoles."
And think about it. You had no interest in the Switch.
No.
And then you saw Doom.
Yeah.
The idea of portable, pocketable Doom.
Yeah.
The idea of portable, pocketable Skyrim, if you hadn't already burned your life in Skyrim.
Yeah, I'm not tackling Skyrim again.
Imagine portable pockets Fallout 4, because that's rumoured to be coming.
Oh, that would surprise me.
You know, there's loads of cool games. For me, one of the recent ones that was kind of hinted at last year, but it's coming out in May, I think. Fucking Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm there.
Yeah.
Good on Nintendo. You're assholes, but you're good at it.
Dark Souls with motion controls.
Mate, if they said to me,
right, Dark Souls probably comes with an attachment that electrocutes you if you like Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's it. If you want a combat roll in the game, you have to do an actual Dark Souls roll in real life with your Labo Dark Souls armor. Got myself my cardboard suit of armor and just see.
Please fit the dog training collar around your neck prior to starting Dark Souls. We will know if you got every hit.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like they have like shock collars. You put one on each leg, one on your arms, and one around your neck. As he hits the floor.
As you get hit in the leg, yeah.
That would be amazingly bad. But I'd love to try it.
As they walk off a cliff.
Oh. Someone actually did joke about doing a setup like that in back in the N64 days. What it would be like if impact damage from, say, Mario 64 was translated to real life, so that they shocked you every time you made Mario fall off of a building or whatever. No, it wasn't electricity, it was something else that would have been a bit more crunchy.
Crunch?
Yeah, oh mate, you don't want to know. Imagine, you know, exoskeletons, they're putting in like Honda factories and that, like you see the little robot that could be an exoskeleton that helps someone walk.
Oh right.
If you ever see have you ever seen the Iron Man film?
No, I haven't. But
right.
Yeah,
in the Iron Man film, a company tries to rip off the Iron Man armor, and so they put this soldier in it, and all of a sudden they turn it on, and it breaks the guy's back because it just all of a sudden it spins around 180 whilst he's anchored in place, and it just snaps him in half. That's the kind of thing they were like, hey, wouldn't it be neat if they did that to Mario 64?
Who sat there and thought, we really could do if this server be able to go 360 degrees. But humans can't do that.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. That's just poor engineering.
Well, that's because they got Frank to do it, or like, you know, Ted, the guy that was just sat there going and he's been there huffing paint all day or something like that.
The guy who made the whole suit using Arduinos and Raspberry Pis.
Yeah, pretty much. And cardboard.
Yeah, cardboard. So tell us more about the state-of-the-art armour it's wearing. Wow, it's amazing. Straight out of Nintendo Labs. It's amazing stuff. Can it stop bullet?
Lay it up.
If the bullet misses.
Can it stop the bullets? Lay it up. You didn't answer the question. It's cheap.
Can it stop a knife? Yes. I don't know what answer the question. Yes.
Yes, it can. Is this knife a butter knife?
Yeah. Is it going? Well, we're going to start survival testing. The first one is heavy rain. Yeah,
when you said heavy rain, I thought you meant the game. Yeah, sure. Look, whoosh, he's safe.
Yeah.
It's like, oh dear. Can it stop a knife? Yeah. And then someone gets stabbed. I thought you said it could stop a knife. Yeah, one of them kids, fucking, you know,
plastic knives.
Yeah, I mean. Oh, you want me to actually design combat art? Oh.
Can it stop it? It stops BBs. Just.
Yeah, sure. My bike armor didn't do that. Oh.
Yeah, that was quite fun.
Yeah, that stung a bit. Well, considering the fact those things tore through cans.
Well, I did kind of hope that your bike armor was a bit more resilient than a Coke can.
Well, yeah, for sure, but still. My bike armor wasn't exactly made out of anything hardcore, was it? It was just supposed to stop me from getting road rash. It wasn't supposed to stop me from getting shot or breaking my legs. Or
I remember watching you go, so we should, let's try your own armor. Okay, where's that high cut magazine?
Yeah,
600 rounds.
Yeah, into my back.
Yeah.
That was when I could still feel a bit better than I can now.
Yeah. I was, and when you started running, I thought I should stop shooting now, but this is just too fun.
Yeah, that's it. It's like,
follow the target.
The thing is, it wasn't exactly, it wasn't painful. It was the idea. Hang on, shit! I can actually feel this through the armor. Oh shit! He just shot me in the neck. And you did.
Well, I thought that was the most important part of the test.
Yeah, sure. We're going to shoot the bits that aren't covered in armour. So that time you shot Weasel in the hand when he thought he was being stealthy.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Good times.
Yeah.
The things you do when you're sober.
Yeah. Hundreds and hundreds of BBs. I found a box of BBs the other day.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds.
I want to find my P90. Although the battery's probably stone dead.
It's probably leaked. This
I hope not. I hope not. I love that P90. That was my baby.
I love my P90 as well. The P90 as well. That was fun. I had a P90, an MP5, a AK-74, L392, the British sniper rifle. I says the Art Magnum. Yeah. I had a SOCOM M9 1911 pistol. I had a Skazz 12 shotgun.
That was fun.
That was fun. 3 rounds it was. I never ever got justified buying the grenade launcher, which actually was you loaded with 160 BBs and air cartridges. It fired the whole lot in one go. But the best one they had on there, the best one that I always loved to have been able to have, was the BB Gatling gun.
My God,
1,200 rounds a minute.
Which is clinically insane.
Yeah, it ran off a car battery.
Jesus.
You had to have a car battery.
Because that'd be a hell of a job to lug around, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it was more for like sight, but just imagine saying this Gatling gun.
Because the trick was, depending on the kind of gun you had, you could actually load them with the little BB kind of paintballs as well, couldn't you?
Some could. I think most of the
mechanical
wouldn't.
But like the gas ones.
Gas ones are good, right? But mechanicals actually put a lot more force in. They probably
split and then wreck the gun.
Yeah.
I loved that P90.
Yeah.
My loadout was a hell of a lot different from yours, and it comprised of 2 guns.
Yeah, my loadout consists of about 20 guns.
I had a P90 submachine gun and a SIG P226.
I had a Desert Eagle Springer.
Clip pop.
Clip pop. I like my Desert Eagle Springer. I sat there, I was sort of walking around, just poof.
I love those, and that was back in the days before you had to have a license and had to have them coloured orange and.
Yeah.
Good times.
If you get signed off, you don't have to have coloured orange. If you get signed off, it's only if you don't get signed off that you have to have coloured orange. And it's illegal to paint them. To be fair though, that was lucky they got that because there's a lot of push to get them banned.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair, ours looked pretty.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if we were to walk around the streets with them, we'd be dead.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 M4A1 carbines.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, sort of if we have to do any shooting like filming that requires like realistic looking firearms.
For sure, we've got quite a stash between us. I've got plenty of blades.
Yeah.
So is Ulaf. Oh, Ulaf's got way more than I have these days.
Lots of fake blood would be a way.
If you want to reenact a scene out of Warcraft, I've got the Frostmourne.
Yeah.
I love that sword.
Cool. Love it. Warcraft v modern day soldier.
Dead.
What do you mean you're waiting for your turn?
Yeah, game over, man.
Right, shall we make an end?
Yeah, sure.
So, well, thank you for joining us on the TheSuffolkRam.
Cheers.
We'll look forward to seeing you on a fortnight.
And I still expect you to be running a Linux box by that time. You've got the spare machine. Get it done.
I'll get round to it at some point.
Is that before or after I die of old age? Or before we all fucking get wrecked by the heat death of the universe?
When are you planning to die of old age?
Probably in the next month.
Ooh, probably after then.
God damn it.
So I'll have your funeral for you.
Rocking.
Yeah.
Just have it rigged up in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, downloading updates.
And I want you to play Civ 6 if you can on the Steam controller, or City Skylines or something like that.
Yep, okay.
It must be done.
I will do.
See you next time.
I'll forget. See you next time. Let's have a look.